Why it's important to think like a brand if you're a production company or producer. I love to get outside of the film industry bubble because it's really interesting what other industries think of ours. What people find absolutely staggering is that we're an industry that relies very, very heavily on government funding. We're also an industry very reliant on government policy and quotas. But at the same time, we're not doing a lot to help ourselves. I've worked with a lot of brands in my time, and all of them invest heavily in community building and marketing, particularly creating assets. Now, what's really interesting about our industry is that our product is content. We're making content and we're not using it to build audiences or build communities. So how can we think more like a brand? Now, I like to compare us to the skincare girlies because those girls are out there hustling day in, day out. It's an industry not too dissimilar to our own because it is completely oversaturated and it has a lot of international competition. Now, you don't see the skincare girlies going to Mecca and asking or getting the government to ask Mecca to just stock more Australian products. They're stocking Australian products because they're working hard at building a community and consumers and customers. And so the customers want the product, which means they'll go into Mecca. It's supply and demand. The film industry, we've been begging for quotas. We've been working so hard to get quotas. I'm not against the quotas, bring them in. But if you're not working at building an audience, if you're not working at building a customer base, what's the point? You cannot keep going to the government when you're not doing everything that is within your control. So you have content. Use the content to start a YouTube page, start a TikTok page, be on YouTube Shorts, have an Instagram strategy. Don't just post still images and hope that someone might watch your show. It's just, we're living in an age where if you don't build your own awareness, if you don't have an audience, then your business just will not survive. Now, I'm not suggesting we go out like the skincare girlies and spend $1 million a year on making digital content because I know that we don't have those budgets. But what we do have is content. What we need is to think more like a brand. So we need to be building the strategy into every single production. You need a line in your budget for digital strategy, pathway to audience, digital assets. It is so, so important. At the moment, all we do is we put all our eggs in the publicity basket. And that's great. You still need publicity, but an article in If magazine is not going to get to your audience. An article in Film Inc. is not going to get to your audience. An article in the Green Guide probably won't get to your audience. An article in Who or TV Week is definitely not going to get to your audience. So think about where your audience are and how they spend their time. Get in front of them. We cannot keep being an industry reliant on government support to survive. It's just not viable and no one wants to work for a broke industry. So my advice is to have a look outside the bubble. What are go-to skincare doing? What are Kick, Keep It Cleaner? Those girls are incredible with the amount of content they put out. TBH Skincare. Look at brands that you love and trust and have a look at what they're doing to actually bolster their business. And think about the revenue streams that come with having a universe as a production company. You have a series, you have a film, you have a digital spin-off, you have digital content to complement it, you have a podcast. There's so much content you can be making to have additional revenue streams coming in, but also just to build that brand awareness.